That a woman who was taking a toilet break while on a road trip in the Australian outback ended up getting stuck waist deep in a pit latrine after it collapsed. She was trapped in the sewage pit for approximately 3 hours until she was rescued by a local tradesman who happened to be passing by, authorities in the Northern Territory. That a key suspect in one of the most notorious killings of the Syrian civil war has been arrested. Syria's interior minister has said Amjad Youssef was wanted over the mass killing of civilians in April 2013 in the Tadamon district of Damascus. Famine was confirmed in 2 places in 2025, areas of the Gaza Strip and Sudan, the first such dual confirmation since formal famine reporting began, according to the Global Report on Food Crisis, GRFC 2026. The annual report, produced by a coalition of 18 humanitarian and development partners, found that acute food insecurity remained widespread in 2025.
And comments shared by United States President Donald Trump referring to India as a hellhole were in poor taste and at odds with the country's relationship. An Indian official has said Trump did not make the remark himself, but reposted it without comment on his Truth Social account on Thursday. The statement came from conservative radio host Michael Savage. And the Punjab government has posted Grade 19 police officer Abdul Rahim Shirazi as Chief Traffic Officer, CTO, Lahore, assigning him charge of the city's traffic management. An official notification has been issued authorizing him to take over the position. Shirazi previously served as District Police Officer, DPO, in Mandi Bahauddin. And Framework has introduced the Laptop 13 Pro, marking the first major chassis redesign since the original Framework Laptop 13 launched in 2021. The new model was announced during the company's Next Gen event and brings several hardware changes, including a CNC aluminum body, a custom touchscreen display, a haptic touchpad, and a larger battery. And the warming El Nino weather phenomenon, which pushed global temperatures to record highs the last time around, is expected back in the middle of this year, the UN said Friday. The United Nations Weather and Climate Agency said El Nino conditions were likely as early as the May to July 3-month window. And Lahore. A woman accused of killing her 3 children a day earlier was handed over to police custody on a 5-day physical remand on Friday. On Thursday, the police claimed that 3 children who were found murdered at their house near Lahore's Shah Jamal colony were killed by their mother over estrangement with her husband. And Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar and Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, in a phone call, exchanged views on the US-Iran ceasefire and Pakistan's ongoing diplomatic efforts. The Foreign Office said on Friday. In a post on X, FO said, both sides exchanged views on regional developments, the ceasefire, and ongoing diplomatic efforts being pursued by Islamabad in the context of USS-Iran engagement.
That South Korean police have arrested a man for sharing an AI-generated image that misled authorities who were searching for a wolf that had broken out of a zoo in Daejeon City. The 40-year-old unnamed man is accused of disrupting the search by creating and distributing a fake photo purporting to show Nuku, the wolf, trotting down a road intersection. That U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Washington has no objections to Iranian players participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. But he added the players will not be allowed to bring people with ties to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, with them. Since the United States-Israeli war on Iran began on February 28, Iran's participation in this summer's edition of FIFA's Global Showpiece has been in doubt because all of the country's group stage matches are scheduled to be played in the United States.
And Srinagar, Indian-administered Kashmir, Uzma Bashir sleeps most nights with her phone beside her pillow. She often wakes not to check her messages, but she is getting married in the summer and is monitoring the price of gold. In Indian-administered Kashmir, gold is not just an ornament, it is dignity. It determines how you will be treated in your in-laws' home, said the 29-year-old, an accountant at a consultancy firm in the region's main city of Srinagar.
That the annual Tablighi Ijtema in Islamabad has been postponed by a week amid uncertainty in the capital, which is expected to host a second round of peace talks between Iran and the United States. Organisers said the event, that originally scheduled from April 24th to April 26th, has been rescheduled after consultations with the Raiwind leadership. The new dates have been set from April 24 to May 1. Mufti Muhammad Waqas Rafi, organiser of the Ijtema, that said the decision was taken after reviewing the situation and to facilitate the government.
And Mohammed Sohail Afridi has hinted at reviving student unions in the province, saying such platforms play a key role in promoting democratic participation and nurturing future leadership. Speaking during a Labour Department meeting, the Chief Minister said restoring student unions would allow students to engage constructively in democratic processes while developing leadership skills essential for the country's future.
That Madecassic acid, a plant-based compound widely used in Korean skincare products, may have potential beyond cosmetic use. New research from the University of Kent suggests the ingredient could help fight antibiotic-resistant bacteria. The study was carried out with researchers from University College London and combined computer screening with laboratory tests. That the Bangladesh Cricket Board, BCB, has withdrawn the no objection certificate previously granted to experienced pacer Mustafizur Rahman, ruling him out of the remainder of the Pakistan Super League, PSL 11. Rahman, who was signed directly by Lahore Qalandars for the ongoing tournament, had featured in 5 matches before departing for international duty. That Islamabad. The National Price Monitoring Committee, NPMC, on Friday claimed transport fares remained unchanged, while chicken prices eased back to pre-Middle East conflict levels following earlier volatility. An NPMC meeting chaired by Planning Minister Ahsan Iqbal, however, did not provide a breakdown of transport fares, even though public transport has seen sharp increases on both intra-city and intercity routes following the recent surge in petroleum prices.
And Kenyan President William Ruto has faced a social media backlash after publicly suggesting that Nigerian accented English was incomprehensible and required a translator. Dowering Kenyans living in Italy on Monday, Ruto said, "If you listen to a Nigerian speaking, you don't know what they are saying, you need a translator," while boasting that Kenyans spoke some of the best English in the world.
That sex criminal financier Jeffrey Epstein housed women who say he abused them in several London flats in the years after UK police decided not to investigate him. The BBC can reveal. We found evidence of 4 flats rented in the affluent borough of Kensington and Chelsea in receipts, emails and bank records contained within the Epstein files. 6 of the women housed in them have since come forward as victims of Epstein's abuse. That, call me Ringo. That's what the former Beatles drummer says when asked if we should call him Sir. He joins us at the swanky Sunset Marquis Hotel in West Hollywood, where rock stars have gathered for decades in a luxury oasis behind the Sunset Strip.
And an Australian publisher has scrapped a children's book over comments made by the book's illustrator on the Bondi Beach shooting, which the publisher says violates its policy on anti-Semitism. The move has prompted several prominent Australian writers to cut ties with the University of Queensland Press, UQP, and sparked allegations of political censorship. And the US military said a 3rd aircraft carrier had arrived in the Middle East, the highest number of American carriers deployed to the region in more than 20 years, according to analysts. The announcement on Thursday came around the same time US President Donald Trump declined to give a timeline on when the Iran war could end, telling reporters at the White House, "Don't rush me."
That a Ukrainian married couple, both aged 75, were killed in a Russian attack on Odessa. Ukrainian officials said Russia launched a series of drone attacks on and near Ukraine's southern port city. The assault destroyed residential buildings and hit a foreign merchant ship, according to Ukrainian authorities. that. Jaden McDaniels and Minnesota flexed even more of their defensive muscle against flagging Denver, seizing a 2-1 lead in the first round NBA playoff series with a dominant 113-96 victory in Game 3 on Thursday night. McDaniels had 20 points and 10 rebounds. Ayo Dosunmu added 25 points and 9 assists off the bench. And Dante DiVincenzo had 15 points and 4 steals for the surging Timberwolves.
And a coalition of leading British civil society groups has condemned the convictions of 2 prominent pro-Palestine leaders, accusing the United Kingdom of an authoritarian approach to protesters. Ben Jamal, 62, director of the Palestine Solidarity Campaign, and Chris Nineham, 63, vice chairman of the Stop the War Coalition, were earlier this month found guilty of breaching protest guidelines during a January 2025 demonstration. And Taipei, Taiwan. Japan's southern island of Kyushu is known for its volcanic landscape and tonkatsu ramen. But the popular tourist destination is ground zero for one of the greatest shifts in Japan's defense strategy since 1947, and when it formally renounced the use of war to settle international disputes. In late March, Japan deployed long-range missiles to Kumamoto Prefecture on the island's southwest coast. Unlike previous defense installations, and these missiles could hit China, reflecting the fact that Beijing has ranked as Japan's top national security threat above North Korea and Russia since 2019. And the Lahore High Court, LHC, has ruled that a father must continue paying maintenance to his minor child, even if a family case is reopened for fresh proceedings. The court upheld a conditional remand order, reinforcing that financial support for a child cannot be suspended during ongoing litigation. And the Punjab government has announced plans to gradually declare Lahore's major markets plastic-free zones as part of efforts to curb the use of banned plastic bags. The plan was shared during a visit to Ikra Market by Parliamentary Secretary for Environment Kanwal Liaquat and Director General Environment Dr. Imran Hamid Sheikh, where they addressed a joint media briefing alongside traders' representatives. And Sarfraz Bugti has inaugurated Balochistan's first research facility dedicated to countering violent extremism, marking a major step toward addressing growing security and social challenges in the province. The newly established Balochistan Centre of Excellence on Countering Violent Extremism will focus on studying the root causes of extremism, particularly among youth, and developing practical research-based solutions. And the traditional global asset correlations that collapsed when the war in the Middle East erupted remain broken, leaving investors to piece together strategies to trade the road to resolution with a faulty instrument panel. Reckoned highs for Wall Street stocks belie concerns about fraught geopolitics, how long energy supplies might be disrupted for, and long-term economic damage.